Hello and welcome. In today's video, we are continuing our beloved series of showcasing exceptional ordinary people and dividend investors that amassed mind-blowing and unbelievable wealth by playing the long-term investing game and investing in dividend-paying stocks. These people lived a life that wasn't flamboyant, yet they were secret millionaires. These are people whose strategy we should all emulate and build wealth for our generations. If you remember, this past Thanksgiving holiday, we gave the story of Mr. Earl Crawley, who amassed a dividend portfolio of $500,000 as a parking lot attendant. Be sure to check it out if you haven't seen it. So this series, and the subject we showcase, are simply to encourage us. On this long holiday and New Year's Day, we are following the series with another legendary dividend investor who also amassed a very large dividend portfolio of $7,200,000 as a secretary in a company she worked for. This woman was simply phenomenon. Today's special woman is Ms. Grace Groner of a small town in Illinois. Like the subject of our last video, Ms. Grace Groner is another ordinary woman whose life is surely worth a documentary. She's an unsung hero in form of a stock and dividend growth investor, someone who truly lived below her means by being reasonably frugal and worked mainly as a secretary at a pharmaceutical company. Disclaimer: please note that even though the legends in these video series lived frugally, sometimes too frugally, please note that it is important to live your own life and enjoy your hard-earned wealth and your life because you only have one life to live. It doesn't cost too much to take a trip on your bucket list or splurge a little when you meet a great milestone. A great trip not only creates memories, but could be a great catalyst and motivator for you to want to do and attain more when you return home. It can reinvigorate you to want to break more grounds. Always remember to enjoy your life now. And why do we bring you videos like this? As a real estate and dividend growth investor, there comes times where you question your tactics, strategies, and become wary. This happens to me sometimes. But videos such as this is for us to be reassured, encouraged, and help boost our morale that what we are in fact doing, such as living frugally, saving where we can, investing dividend growth stocks, investing in real estate, and picking up other side hustles, are still the best way to build wealth and attain financial independence and retire early. Yes, we can do it, and it is attainable to anyone who earns money. This holiday season, we bring you the story of Ms. Grace Elizabeth Groner, who turned $180 into $7,200,000. Ms. Grace Groner and her twin sister, Gladys, were born in 1909 in a small farming community in rural Lake County, Illinois. Unfortunately, the two twin sisters were orphaned at the tender age of 12. However, they were lucky to be taken in by a prominent man in their community named Mr. Anderson and his family. The Anderson loved Grace and Gladys and always viewed them as family. Mr. Anderson will end up funding their education through college. Ms. Groner has always been interested in finance and investing, so after completing her college at Lake Forest College in 1931, she immediately began working as a secretary at Abbott Laboratories. She will then work there for 43 years. During her first year working at Abbott, Ms. Groner began investing in the stock market and quickly developed a strong understanding of different industries and companies. Ms. Groner worked her entire career at Abbott Laboratories as a secretary for many long years. Ms. Groner was never married and didn't have any children. Do you know Ms. Grace Groner bought her clothes from rummage yard sales and second-hand stores? She sure did. She didn't own a car. She lived frugally, and despite living in a cottage that she inherited and lived on a modest salary, Ms. Groner was able to save and invest a significant portion of her income. She was known for her discipline and her ability to live below her means, which allowed her to build so much wealth. She got her clothes from second-hand stores. You may be thinking that Ms. Groner didn't enjoy her money. Well, if you think so, you thought wrong. After her retirement, Ms. Groner traveled extensively and bought gifts for her neighbors. So how did she make her money? Well, history has it that during her first year working at Abbott, she decided to buy 3 shares of Abbott Laboratories at the rate of $60 each for a total of $180. Yes, the bulk of her wealth came from these 3 shares she bought around 1931. She will hold these stocks for the rest of her life, allowing the holding to enjoy time in the market and dividend reinvestment. As we all know, these two things are the major oil that lets compound interest roll at its finest. History has it that Ms. Groner had 75 years in the stock market, which helped grow her 3 stocks of Abbott Laboratories into 100,000 shares of Abbott when we consider share splits, share growth, and dividend reinvestment. She kept her investments simple at the beginning, she allowed the power of compound interest, she decreased her expenses and invested more, and lastly, she started early in her 20s. Ms. Groner's frugality and disciplined saving over the course of her career helped a lot. She invested wisely in stocks. She lived a modest lifestyle and was known by many for her generosity towards charitable causes. Yes, till today there is a Grace Elizabeth Groner Foundation. According to the website, Ms. Groner directed the foundation to provide financial support to qualified service-oriented Lake Forest College students. Ms. Grace Groner's story gained widespread attention after it was featured in a 2011 article in the Wall Street Journal. The article was in-depth and highlighted her financial savvy ways, including her goal and commitment to giving back to others. Her legacy and story has been used as an example of power of disciplined saving and investing over long term. Ms. Groner died in 2010 at the age of 100. It was then discovered that she had left behind a large investment that has amassed into a fortune of over $7 million, which was largely through that $180 investment in Abbott Laboratories stocks. After her death, her story of course went viral when she made her most noticeable philanthropic move yet, leaving and donating $7 million to Lake Forest College to use as scholarship. Ms. Groner was a generous philanthropist and donated generously to various causes throughout her lifetime. There's no doubt she left a legacy as a successful investor and kind-hearted individual. So, what are the lessons we all can take away from the legendary move of this great woman named Ms. Grace Elizabeth Groner? 1. Start investing early. Ms. Groner obviously started investing in her 20s and continued throughout her working career. The earlier you start, the more time you have to take advantage of compound interest. Number 2. Your level of wealth you will amass depends on your financial discipline and behavior. Ms. Groner was known for her discipline and consistency in saving and investing. She set aside regular amount of money each month. Discipline and consistency is key. 3. Being frugal. Keeping expenses under control no matter how much you are worth. Number 4. Buy and hold good companies you understand would make you a millionaire. Don't be a day trader. Just like the legends from the previous video in this series, Ms. Groner is no different. She played the buy and hold long-term game, which helped her alleviate fees and harness the power and advantage of deferred taxes. Number 5. Investing regularly and consistently is very important. Time in the market matters a lot. 6. Reinvest all dividends if you can. When those dividends come in, reinvest it immediately. Let it stay in the portfolio and work harder for you. 7. Be patient. Ms. Groner was patient with her investment and allowed them to grow over time. It is important to be patient with your investment and not make impulsive decisions. 8. Compound interest can only work if you allow it and give it time to work. 9. It is possible for anyone. Yes. If Ms. Groner could amass $7 million from her job of being a secretary, then it is possible to do the same regardless of how much one makes. The status of millionaire is attainable for anyone who is ready to sacrifice, put in the work, and invest wisely and diligently. Number 10. Giving back. Ms. Groner was known for her generosity and commitment to charitable causes. Her impact and good deed will always be remembered by Lake Forest College. And on any day, when we think about Ms. Grace Elizabeth Groner's remarkable life, legacy and profession, we don't say Ms. Groner was a secretary. We say the great legendary Ms. Groner was a true philanthropist and, more importantly, a true dividend growth stock investor. From Wealth Listicles, we say thank you to Ms. Grace Elizabeth Groner. That's it for this video, guys. I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when we post another interesting finance video. Until next time.